Hey everyone, and welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're doing a total deep dive into the dark, hidden reality of alcoholic drinks. We are going to unpack the true science and the honestly staggering facts behind alcohol consumption, stuff that goes way beyond what most of us have been taught. We're going to look at what actually happens inside your body, and trust me, the science here is just as fascinating as it is terrifying.
But to really get a grip on this, we need to ground it in reality first. Let's talk about a guy named Amit. Growing up, Amit was what you'd call the classic ideal son. You know the type. Smart, cultured, deeply respectful of his family, and absolutely strictly against drinking. In fact, he couldn't even stand the sight of it. But then, just one single college party changed his entire trajectory.
Let's look at how fast things escalated. At age 18, he takes his first drink just to celebrate some good grades. Seems completely harmless, right? But the progression is wild. By 19, it becomes a regular weekend thing. At 21, a bad breakup turns that occasional drink into a daily coping mechanism just to numb his anxiety. The panic attacks set in. His family got so desperate, his mother literally tried offering him horse urine, hoping an old wives' tale would somehow cure the addiction. But by 23, the chemical had completely taken over. It led to severe anger issues, violence, and ultimately, him violently destroying his newly arranged marriage.
Okay, let's move into Section 1, the science of alcohol and what happens inside your body.
How does a substance completely hijack a person's life like that? Well, to understand it, we have to look way back at its origins. Because alcohol isn't some modern invention, it's incredibly ancient. Have you ever heard of the drunken monkey hypothesis? It actually suggests our evolutionary ancestors developed a tolerance by eating naturally fermented, overripe fruit. And archaeologically, it goes back even further. We found evidence of fermented drinks in the Jiahu village of China dating back to 7000 BC and even in a Haifa cave 13,000 years ago. So humans and our ancestors have literally been consuming this stuff for millennia.
But here is where we humans completely change the game. Nature provides natural fermentation. That's where yeast eats natural sugar, producing a maximum of around 15% alcohol before the environment gets too toxic and the yeast just dies off. That's how we get things like beer and wine. But humans, we invented distillation. By boiling that fermented liquid and capturing the pure alcohol vapor, we bypass nature's built-in speed limit entirely. That's how we created concentrated hard spirits like whiskey and vodka that can reach upwards of 60% alcohol by volume.
And when you throw back those concentrated drinks, your liver literally has to go to war. Your liver uses a very specific two-step breakdown process. Step 1. An enzyme called ADH converts the alcohol into acetaldehyde. Remember that word, because acetaldehyde is a literal, actual poison. It's the highly toxic chemical responsible for that agonizing hangover and splitting headache. Then, in step 2, another enzyme, LDH, works frantically to convert that poison into a harmless substance called acetate.
The catch? Your liver has a fixed processing speed. Think of it like a bottleneck. When you drink faster than your liver can clear that poison, the alcohol just builds up in your bloodstream. This is your blood alcohol concentration, or BAC. Now, if you drink on an empty stomach or use carbonated mixers like soda or champagne, it actually forces that alcohol to bypass the stomach and shoot directly into your small intestine. Your BAC level dangerously skyrockets in no time at all.
Which brings us to Section 2, the biological cost and the actual impact on your body. Deep inside your brain, alcohol creates this extremely dangerous tug-of-war between your neurotransmitters. On one hand, it actively boosts GABA. Think of GABA as your brain's brake pedal. It slows you down, making you sluggish and clumsy. But simultaneously, it suppresses glutamate, which is your brain's natural gas pedal. You are effectively slamming on the brakes and cutting the gas at the exact same time. It completely destabilizes your brain's processing power.
And the long-term microscopic damage? It's terrifying. Over time, alcohol physically shrinks your brain's frontal lobe. That destroys your emotional control, which explains why long-term drinkers like Amit suffer from violent, unpredictable outbursts. It also shrinks your hippocampus, causing those infamous memory blackouts where your brain literally just stops recording short-term memories. And down in your gut, it confuses your pancreas so badly that it causes it to release digestive enzymes internally. It quite literally begins digesting itself.
And then there's your liver, taking the absolute brunt of the poison. Let's walk through the 4 stages of this breakdown. Stage 1 is fatty liver. Keep going and you hit Stage 2, hepatitis, where severe inflammation kicks in. Stage 3 is fibrosis, leaving permanent scar tissue. And if you still don't stop, you hit Stage 4, cirrhosis. I really want to emphasize this. Stage 4 cirrhosis is irreversible liver failure. It's a point of no return. It is a death sentence that destroys families, both emotionally and financially, through massive medical bills.
All right, let's get into Section 3, debunking the popular lies and myths. Seriously, with all this biological destruction, why is drinking so wildly normalized in our society? Well, mostly because of popular lies we tell ourselves. First up, the myth of the harmless single drink. Listen to what the World Health Organization explicitly says. No level of alcohol consumption is safe for our health. The crucial takeaway here is that a safe limit is a total fabrication. Even occasional, infrequent drinking permanently weakens your immune system. There is always a biological cost. Always.
Then there's the famous red wine excuse. People love to say, but red wine has antioxidants. It's good for my heart. Look, the reality is that the beneficial antioxidants come purely from the grapes. If you want the health benefits, literally just eat some grapes. The ethanol in the wine provides a severe cancer risk that vastly outweighs any tiny perceived benefits from those antioxidants.
What about the whole illusion that beer is somehow softer or safer than hard liquor? Let's destroy that one right now. A standard pint of strong beer, a standard glass of wine, and a standard shot of whiskey, they all contain the exact same 10 to 14 grams of liver-damaging ethanol. Your liver honestly does not care about the fancy label on the bottle or if it came from a keg. It has to process the exact same amount of poison.
And finally, the warmth myth. People love taking a shot in the winter because they say it makes them feel warm. Well, biologically, alcohol dilates your blood vessels. It pushes the blood to your skin's surface, which tricks your brain into feeling all warm and fuzzy. But because that heat is rushed to the outside, your actual core body temperature is rapidly dropping. Drinking in the cold is incredibly dangerous, and you heavily risk hypothermia.
Let's zoom out to Section 4, the hidden social costs and society's immense burden.
When we step back from the individual damage, the macro statistics are just staggering. Global deaths attributed to alcohol sit at 2.6 million, or 26 lakhs every single year. The mental health toll alone is devastating. 40% to 73% of global suicides are linked to alcohol. For families, the risk of domestic violence is 3 times higher. And in places like India, over 22,000 people have died simply from drinking cheap, fake liquor laced with deadly methanol. This proves without a doubt that alcohol isn't just a personal choice, it is a massive societal poison.
Now for Section 5, finding help and the road to recovery.
Despite the horrifying statistics and the really deep biological traps we just talked about, there is a way out. Let's return to Amit's story. After hitting complete rock bottom, his family gave him one final chance. Day 1 was agonizing. He needed gastric tablets just to hold down basic food. Week 1 brought severe physical withdrawal shakes as his brain screamed for the chemical. But you know what? He pushed through. By year 1, he was strictly attending Alcoholics Anonymous meetings. And look at year 10. Today, Amit is a 47-year-old successful entrepreneur who is fully sober. It's incredibly inspiring, and it proves that even the worst downward spiral can absolutely be reversed.
So how do you, or maybe someone you love, actually break the cycle? It starts with taking actionable steps. First, you have to acknowledge the elephant in the room. Denial is always the biggest hurdle. Second, seek help. There is zero shame in this. Utilize free, anonymous resources like the 1446 National Helpline or your local AA meetings. And finally, as a broader society, we really need to start demanding government action against those manipulative surrogate ads that package this highly addictive substance as some sort of glamorous, upscale lifestyle.
I want to deliver a direct challenge to you right now. At your very next celebration, you are going to have a simple choice to make. You can choose H2O, safe, hydrating, completely life-giving. Or you can choose C2H5OH, the chemical formula for ethanol, toxic, highly addictive, and biologically destructive. Make the conscious choice. Pick up a glass of water instead.
Because when you look at the raw, unfiltered science, the irreversible organ damage, and the shattered families, I really have to ask you, is that one harmless drink actually worth the risk? Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. Keep learning, keep questioning everything, and I'll see you next time.